There's the main road right down there. If you were to come in, here you go. Not a real big parking lot, huh? Angle parking only. There's a full swing, handicap space. There's an outhouse. It's a Leetsville ORV trailhead in Kalkaska, 50-inch or less trail. Little message board, little restroom. I'm gonna stop so I can film this a little bit. There is the Dusty Bean, and you can see why. This camera's picking up just how dusty she is. I'm Dirty Jack. There's the Dusty Bean, just covered in dust. Here's the Leetsville ATV trailhead, 50-inch or less. We just came in south off that west loop. There's a sign over there, shows an ATV and a dirt bike for the trail. Pretty easy trail. Sand, flat for the most part, pretty well groomed. Nice easy ride, really, just a nice easy ride. So you can see the sign there, and then you can see where the trail starts there. So people are screwing around right here. ORV trail right there. There's a sign next to it too that shows a sign of a dirt bike and an ATV. Get a chance, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Okay, see how this bathroom looks. The Leetsville Kalkaska ORV trailhead. There's an outhouse here. Not the worst I've ever seen. Needs a little touching up here or there, but definitely very usable. There's a pan around. And then there's a little message board on here. Someone must have lost the key. There we go. All right, get ready to ride out of Leetsville ORV in Kalkaska. We're gonna head up the east side, heading north. Let's see what we think of this trip. There's the other way coming out. There's your signs. Here's the trail going in. ORV trail for dirt bikes and ATVs, or it says 50-inch or less. From what I looked up, this is a 24-mile loop just northeast of Kalkaska. From what I've seen, flat, sandy, pretty fast moving trails, what the internet says. We'll give you a quick take on what we thought once we ride it. So far, first mile or so out of the Leetsville ORV parking lot, pretty good trail. Smooth, decently wide. Not any hills yet. Seems to be pretty sandy for the most part. We'll see how this 24-mile loop goes. Just under 80 degrees and sunny. Nice day, and the thick woods isn't too bad. It's actually a little bit cool in the shade when you ride. Riding the Leetsville trails. Look on the map, I can see I'm on the about halfway up of the Leetsville loop on the east side going north. Just started to get a touch hilly right in here, really little bit, but I wanted to record a little bit of it. I've never ridden these Leetsville trails before, so I'm kind of excited about it. It's summertime. So also, I'm told that they get hilly, if it does get hilly at all, it is in the north part of the trails, but mainly northwest part. Not to that yet, but we'll see. how this goes. But here's the Leetsville trails. Working our way up the east side of the loop from the parking lot. So far, pretty much all sand, and then just a mixture of wooded to non-wooded, and here we're in a pine forest. We get a pine forest to a regular woods, then to open field. Not a lot of hills yet, just pretty flat and sandy for the most part. I'm hoping to get some hills here in the northwest corner, but overall, good trail, well maintained, pretty flat, not whooped out. Little tight, not open and cooking at like some of the other places, but definitely not as tight as I've seen either. So right in the middle somewhere. So let me see here. All right, we're getting towards the north loop. Pretty cool. So we'll get to there's kind of you're on the east side, you get to the north, and you're still wiggling your way north, but then you start going west. And I'm told in the northwest portions where it gets a little hilly. We're just entering to the northeast portion, coming out of the parking lot, the trailhead. Ah, look at this. Pretty nice. Pine forests are really cool, especially if they're really thick. See, there's nothing grown on the bottom. This is a thick one. So I'm going to stop just to pan around, just kind of take a look. This is what these pine forests look like. They're pretty thick. There's Tina. All right, so this is getting towards the northeast side. Looks like we got another mile or so, I don't know, give or take, to go until we start making our way west on this trail. Then you go a couple miles to the west, and then we're going to go south back into the parking lot. Leetsville in Kalkaska, the trail, 50-inch or less, from what I understand, is 24 miles long. I'm going to try to do the full 24 miles today before the rest of the group gets up, and then we're going to do some Frederick, ride around Starvation Lake, Frederick, and then down to M72 near Shirley's. That kind of riding over the weekend. So we're working our way into the northwest corner of the Leetsville trails. We came up the east side on the loop from the parking lot. And then you kind of loop up across into the west. And we're told it gets hilly, and it's getting a little bit hilly. So it's a nice section. If you like hills, get a little bit of hills so far. We're not through it, but definitely it's more hilly than what we've seen so far. There, it is getting hilly. Yeah, beautiful. The system is very nice though. I don't know if there's really a best. If you have to categorize them, you can. Oh, there you go. We'll get a little bit of a hill. So they're right, the northwest section does have some hills. There you can see. Once we get done riding this whole Leetsville 24-mile loop, we'll have a little more of an idea of what we think of it. Right now, I do like it. Every trail system seems to offer something unique. Oh yeah, here it is. First steeper hill we've come to. Not huge, but a little bit big and steep. So far, we've been told it'll get a little hillier in the northwest corner, and it is. For those of you that watch the channel, I am Dirty Jack. And right now, we start into the U. Alright. So it was a little bit hilly going just before this coming from the east, which was good. The trail has been excellent. Didn't know what to expect. You never really know until you get out and ride it yourself. This area looks like it's been logged recently. Pretty smooth considering a lot of times when you're going through a logged area, man, you got to really watch those roots hidden down into the sand. And this one doesn't really seem to have that, so nice. Not yet, anyway. We're getting towards the tail end of being going back west across the top, and we're going to be going back towards south. Pretty much south. You're going to be on the west side of the loop going south. That's what's next up. If you're in the area, if you like riding and it's something you do, this is a really easy place. Here we go. Looks like a hill. I was going to say it's a really easy place to do a little bit of everything. There's some beautiful lakes nearby. There's rivers nearby. So for canoeing, kayaking, tubing down a river, no problem. Swimming in a river or lake, no problem. Cool little towns, no problem. They have that within easy driving distance of Kalkaska as well. Then you got some pretty good trails. I definitely would say, you know, get out and ride this Leetsville trail. I like it. Started south again, and right when you start going back south, coming from the east side, there's a little hill, long hill, but not real steep. Pretty much you'll take any hill you can get if there's not a lot of hills on the trail. Nice woods. It's a beautiful trail, very well groomed. Again, the trail is just one of the smoother trails I've been on. I'd say right in the middle as far as tight or not, a little technical spot. These are always the tricky ones, right there. We got a tight turn and a tree right there. So, you know, is it tight? I mean, it's in the middle. Been on some trails that are right at 50 inch the whole time, and man, you're always just going slow and it's technical. Some of those are fun. Sometimes it gets tedious after a while. Then you've been on ones that are considered 50 inch or less, but they're just wide open. Those are fun, but you're going to see a lot of other vehicles on them as well. So this has been just right in the middle. So yeah, you can kind of move on the trail a little. It's smooth. I like the level of groomed on this trail. Good riding trail so far. Right here, it looks like we're going to curve, go through a little curve, and then just go straight south for a bit. So if you're following along and you look at a map, we went north on the east side, then you kind of cross over going west along the top, and then you start going south. Here we're getting ready to curve. In just a minute, once we start in the straight section, you're going to see a pretty long little straight section. Long straight section coming off of when you're coming back south on the west side. That's what we're getting ready to be on. So far the hills have been kind of more to the north. Trail's been really good. Back into the woods. Little tight section. You always find this. You'll notice in a lot of videos I'll say that. You'll be cruising along, and just like this right here, it seems kind of open. Even though the trail's kind of dug down to where if you were wider, it'd be hard to fit, but you could. Then all of a sudden it will be tight. There's some deer. Can you see them? Jumping. It's a buck too. We're coming down the west side of the trail from the north going south. Working our way towards the parking lot. The hills so far have been to the north, so I'm sure there's going to be a few hills here or there, like a little tiny one here. For the most part, it gets a slightly hilly in that section, which is fun. Very well groomed trail, pretty smooth trail. A lot of nice scenery. So you're in a lot of different terrain, which is nice. But it's not really whooped out, not too overgrown. Very, very nice ride. Oh, you see that? I wonder if I caught that. Hope I did. Deer must have bent down there at some point, about jumped right into me. So the MCCT trail. I don't think that was it. But it surely could have been. The sign could have just been ripped up, because my GPS is showing it being right there. So this MCCT trail meets on the east and west. It ties into Leetsville. So like there is the west side of it. If you just take this, there's actually a cut through. We're getting ready to go straight east now. And that cut through, you can kind of just take straight east and then pop up on the east side. I've seen more pine forest on this trail system than normal, which is pretty cool. It's a well-groomed, flat, sandy, relatively flat, sandy, nice trail. I don't know if they groom them here, but they sure are nice. Very south side, coming south on the west side of the loop, coming wherever the parking lot is down this way. We're assuming it's coming up anytime. My first time riding this trail, and now that we're finishing up with it, it's a nice, easy ride.
Hey, thanks for sticking with us this long in the video. This pretty much wraps up our 24-mile loop out of the Leetsville trailhead just northeast of Kalkaska. Overall, pretty easy ride. A little bit of hills in the northwest section. Pretty sandy, level, well-groomed, not overgrown for the most part. Please feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out some of our other rides in the area. Mainly maybe the Pickerel Lake camping ride. Beautiful trails out of that section, just a little more technical. Thanks for stopping in. I'm Dirty Jack.